Hi everybody, this is Michelle from Virtual Hand Care, your online hand expert. In this video, I'm going to address a question that I get a lot of, and that is, why is my mallet finger not healed? I get many people reaching out to me and asking me this question because it really can be frustrating. First, if you're not really familiar with what mallet finger is, there's a few different types of mallet finger. Typically, there's a bony mallet finger where you actually avulse a piece of the bone off with the tendon, so it's like a fracture to the tip of the finger, but it pulls a piece of the bone off with it, and that results in a droopy finger. You can also get a tendinous mallet finger where there's no fracture, no piece of bone associated with it, and it's just the tendon that was pulled off the bone, but again resulting in a droopy finger. There's really no way to tell which one that you haven't unless you do see a doctor and have an x-ray, and that can help you identify which one you have, because you really want to make sure that you are splinting correctly for the correct mallet finger, because there are different ways. So in this video, I want to share with you some top reasons I find why your mallet finger may not be healed. Now, I do have several other mallet finger videos that I will link here so that you can also check those out after this video. So reason number one is usually because you may have not gotten an x-ray to see which type of mallet finger that you have. And the reason why it's important to find out is because you want to be able to be splinted correctly based on which type of mallet finger. So if you have more of a tendinous mallet finger, typically your finger needs to be in just a little bit of hyperextension, because that will allow the tendon to meet to the bone, to the tip of the finger correctly, and allow it to scar down and heal. And because tendinous mallet fingers typically do result in a little bit of a droop. A little bit of a droop is considered normal. Now, when I'm saying a little bit of a droop, that's more like 10 to 15 degrees. That's considered normal after a tendinous mallet finger. Now, the reason why you splint in hyperextension is so that if you do get a little bit of that normal 10 to 15 degree lag, well, if you were in hyperextension, more than likely it's not going to be noticeable enough lag because you already were in some hyperextension, if that makes sense. Now, if you had a bony mallet finger, it's important to get that x-ray because then you don't necessarily need to be in hyperextension. And in fact, it is important to make sure that you are splinted correctly with the bony mallet finger, because too much hyperextension can be very painful and is not what you need. But also, if your finger is in the splint and is not straight, and say it's kind of rested in the splint, and the splint doesn't provide a truly good support, then that little bony fragment piece may not meet the tip of your finger, and so therefore it might not heal throughout the whole entire time that you are splinted too. So then that brings me to my second reason why your mallet finger may not be healed, and that may be because you weren't put in the right position then. Now, even if you did go to the doctor and you got the right diagnosis and you know which type of mallet finger, I still find that sometimes people are still not put in the right position. Or they are, but over the course of, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 8 weeks of wearing the splint, then that position kind of changes, right? So your swelling might go down, or you might wake up and the splint is off, or it's moved, or maybe the splint rubbed too much and you took it off for a while. There could be a lot of reasons, and so that takes me to my next reason why your mallet finger may not be healed, and that is because you might not have been wearing your splint consistently 24/7 throughout the whole 6 to 8 weeks, or whatever is prescribed by your doctor. It is so important to make sure that you wear a mallet finger splint 24/7. And unfortunately, I often find that people are told to maybe just remove it, and unfortunately that will undo all that healing that has occurred, especially with the bony mallet, right? You want that bone to heal. So you would want to keep the fingertip immobilized with the bony mallet. And typically that needs to happen for about 6 weeks. But also, even if it's not bony and it hasn't resulted in a fracture, you still have to let that tendon scar down and heal to the bone. So if you are constantly taking that support off, then you're not letting it heal. So it needs to stay on 24/7. It's no different than breaking your wrist and having to wear a cast on your wrist for 6 weeks. You would do that. So it's the same thing that you have to do for your finger too. Now, another reason why I find that your mallet finger may not be healed is because it isn't truly a mallet finger, or it was a mallet finger once that turned into what's called a swan neck deformity. This is very, very common, especially among people that have more of a chronic mallet finger. So your injury happened a while ago, but it turned into a swan neck deformity. Or you had a swan neck deformity that somebody thought it was a mallet finger. That's why it's so important to make sure that you get the correct diagnosis, because with a swan neck deformity, it looks like a mallet finger, but it's actually happening at your PIP joint. It's actually happening at this joint. So if this joint is not addressed, if this joint is not put in the correct position, then you can splint the tip of your mallet finger. You can splint the tip of your finger for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, for months. But as soon as you take that off, your finger is going to droop again. And typically, the reason why I see that people's mallet fingers are not healed is because they actually ended up having a swan neck deformity and their PIP joint was not splinted. So that can be very, very frustrating that you go that long splinted and you take the splint off and your finger goes right back to drooping. So that's why it's so important to make sure you know which type of mallet finger you have, or if it's not truly a mallet finger and it's actually a swan neck deformity. So you get the correct splint for you. So say you've done all of this stuff and you're here because you're looking for assistance on what to do and how to progress some exercises. You're not really sure your mallet finger is healed and you're just really not sure what to do next. Do check out malletfingertreatment.com, where I have a mallet finger on-demand self-treatment program. This program will walk you through how to safely progress exercises so that you can prevent drooping from coming back. So do check that out. Let me know if you found this video helpful, and do give it a like, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for watching.